All right, so today we are talking about the LDB Duel deck box. So as you can see, it is a magnetic style deck box. This thing is huge, by the way. So, I'll go ahead and go all the way around it. Mine's the custom one. I got it with this cool shiny Rayquaza and Dark Arm Dragon design. If we do a size comparison here, like here's the normal Konami deck box. Here's from the front. And here's from the side, pretty big difference there. And then also, here it is next to the standard kind of double deck box. So if I were to do this here, it's a little longer. Not as tall though. And then thickness wise, it's maybe a little bit thicker, a little bit thinner, I'm sorry. So the quality on the print is great, and I'll actually take this off here and start with that. The quality on the print is great. It's got kind of a leathery feel to it, and they actually worked with me on the design to make sure. I was like, well, my OCD is going to kill me if the Rayquazas are not exactly, apart from each other, and they did their best to accommodate that. It has some stitching around the edges. Mine has a little bit of an issue at the bottom, and I've not used this thing at all. So the fact that it has that issue is a little annoying. Because to me, this deck box is huge. I originally got this deck box. I thought it would be super cool to use, but then when I got it, I was just like, man, this is ginormous. So setting the outside apart. Oh, and on the back, as I'm sure you saw, there's some LDB Duel branding, and their branding is not really consistent. So the LDB Duel. You can see the stitching through here. The magnets are on either side, but the LDB Duel branding is light blue, like a metallic-y blue. And here it says LDB Duel, but if you look at the top of the deck box, and I don't know how well this is going to come up on camera, but that is not perfectly centered. It's kind of off and askew. And again, to most people, who really cares? From what I understand, these are made by hand, so there's a small stitching issue here. There's some rippling through here, and I guess that kind of stuff is going to happen with handmade. So we got the branding here. We also have the branding here. The good thing though about these is that if you take this tray out, also I hate that this is sideways. Again, that's an OCD problem, I think, but I just wish it was up and down like the normal logo, or that everything was sideways, you know what I mean? So here's the dice tray, and we'll go into what that can fit later, how much it can fit, but you can slide them in backwards to remove some of that. And additionally, if you do the same thing here where it says LDB Duel, you can just kind of turn it around, and you get significantly less branding here. You still have that, and you still have this, but it's significantly less. The deck box is massive. All right, so next I'll go ahead and show the capacity of the dice tray. So the dice tray here, I have a ton of stuff in. You can see it all fits really well. It doesn't go too high. As far as depth goes, this is kind of the standard Konami dice. And I could fit probably, let's see, 2 of these goes a little over. So you can't stack more than, a dice and a half tall. But I would use this potentially for Pokemon. So for example, here's all the things that I was able to fit into it. I have 4 condition markers, a Konami dice for dice rolls, and a bunch of metal damage counters. So all of that fits pretty well in this dice tray. So the dice tray does hold a lot. If we get into the deck box itself, here is a standard Yu-Gi-Oh deck, I should say. So here is main side extra with a divider. And so if I were to stick it in here, you've got a lot of room. Some people prefer that. They want a lot of room. If you pull out your main deck here in an Edison format or Yu-Gi-Oh game, your side deck is really, flopping around in there. And even with the main deck in, and this is why I decided not to use it, even though I like the deck box itself, how customizable it is, I don't know that I feel, and granted, Edison decks aren't that expensive. I don't have any, DT Bryonics or anything crazy, but, or Ulti Caiuses or anything. But as you see, there's a lot of, I feel like cards could get damaged in there. I haven't actually had any damage. Like I said, I've not used this a whole lot. And see, going back to the stitching issues, like here's another one right here. And again, I'm sure I could take like nail clippers or something and fix that. Here is a Pokemon deck in here, because like I said, I think it would work better for Pokemon actually. And a Pokemon deck fits right there. And in fact, I bet I could even fit a second Pokemon deck. So if I put this in here, yeah, you could fit 2 fully sleeved Pokemon decks, and these sleeves are a little worn in, but not too bad. So brand new sleeves, you know, you might have to shove them in there, but it's pretty solid in there. So despite the fact that their website shows like mostly Yu-Gi-Oh stuff, like this seems to be like more of a Magic, like, you know, Commander is 100 cards, right? And this is, you know, 120, so that would fit a lot better. And you could bring, you know, 2 Pokemon decks in this. But yeah, guys, so that's the LDB Duel deck box. Would I recommend for Yu-Gi-Oh or Edison? Probably not. I usually don't like these giant boxes. I mean, if you like the Amanda LaPalme deck boxes or Imperium Duelist, those giant chests that you want to bring 50 decks and 8,000 dice, go for it. I think this is probably more suited for Pokemon because the dice tray is a lot more relevant in Pokemon as compared to Edison, unless you're playing like, I don't know, 6 Samurais or something. Like I said, if you're OCD, there's going to be a lot of little minor issues you're going to have to work with. And it is huge, but